Time now for our focus report, and today we're going to be looking at a growing demand to get rid of wild horses in America's West. Cattle ranchers and those in the livestock industry want to see a massive cull of tens of thousands of mustangs. They say the wild horse population in the US is out of control and is too big a drain on resources, costing the Bureau of Land Management some $80 million a year. Animal rights activists are outraged and insist that the iconic horses must be let live and roam free. Inmates at one prison could prove to be part of the solution. Here's our focus report.
The vast landscapes of Nevada are home to one of the most iconic animals of the American West, the Mustang, wild horses, which have been roaming free for centuries. Campaigning for this to remain so is animal protection activist LEIGH.
Is that common to see some horses close to the road?
Well, around here anywhere, and so they'll cross this road all the time to get to that water source.
There are now roughly 70,000 Mustangs living in the wild, and according to the U.S. government, that's too many. In an attempt to regulate the Mustang populations, horses are being rounded up and trucked off to federal holding facilities.
In 1971, Congress passed an act to stop hurting our horses, to humanely manage them on the range. But they were hitting them with helicopters, running them till they were exhausted, breaking their necks on panels. So I started coming out, taking pictures, and giving them to news media and the public. You'll see wild horses run through barbed wire, hot shot in the face, kicked in the head. I like to tell people to watch a movie like The Godfather about organized crime, switch out the pinstripes for cowboy hats. And that's what the livestock industry is out here. They control the politics.
In the other corner of the ring, a wide coalition of cowboys and ranchers. From Wyoming to Nevada, they're pushing for a more drastic downsizing of the Mustang population.
What do you say, kids?
This rancher has 1,400 cows.
Cool.
Ever since this ranch was founded back in 1932, it's tripled in size. Meanwhile, the wild horse population has been doubling every 4 years, the ingredients of a territorial war.
Right now in this valley, as we look at it, there's 200 head of horses there. And they're watering right there with my cows, and there's places that we've got troughs and pipelines completely destroyed.
Destruction of grazing lands, draining of water resources. According to the livestock industry, the cost inflicted by what they call Mustang overpopulation is high. They're now asking the government to let them kill 50,000.
I think the only way you're going to get that reduction economically and feasible is to allow the industry to trap and bait and remove a number of these horses and allow them to go into the food chain.
But the 1971 protection law strictly forbids the killing of wild horses. So as their fate is being decided, Mustangs are being sent to the state-managed facility. That's where many have been living in captivity for years.
So these are wild horses gathered from public lands, mostly in Nevada.
Jason works for the Bureau of Land Management. Every year, his office spends $45 million to sterilize horses and put them up for adoption, but without much success. They, too, are now recommending to euthanize captive horses.
That is one of the options that was included in the president's budget request. That's recognizing the reality that we have 45,000 animals that are in our holding facilities that are not adopted. And so that cost is really making it complicated for us to control the animals, the population growth on the range.
But the organized killing of wild horses might not go down too well with many Americans. For the time being, the Trump administration has been refusing this course of action. One alternative solution to avoid killing the Mustangs might come from former outlaws. Here, 15 inmates have been selected to tame the untamable.
Pat him on the neck with that stick. It's good to be happy with just a step.
Noah is serving time in this detention center for cannabis possession. He has been training his Mustang for the past 2 months.
I didn't know I had the patience to do it, but we're doing this together. I'm pretty sure I'm the first one that touched him. It was cool, and you can tell because when other people come around, they kind of tend to not treat them the same as when they treat you. So we're kind of bonded, which is cool,
With the help of these inmates, 1,200 Mustangs have been adopted so far. But with only 3 other prisons offering similar programs statewide, their hard work is still a drop in the ocean.
You know, we're doing everything we can to try to train as many horses as possible, but it's a big problem. There's, you know, thousands of horses that need homes.
4 times a year, the prison opens its doors to the public for adoption sessions. On average, horses are sold $1,700. This might just be the price of freedom.